Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Counting on the Duggar family preparing for a TLC comeback. Counting on alums Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar have been silent on social media since the CSA and arrest of their oldest child Josh. His conviction resulted in TLC parting ways with the family. It's been 4 years since the Duggar family last appeared on the reality show, but some fans are starting to speculate that they're planning to make a big comeback. Keep reading to see why. Counting on. How are Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar today? One of Jim Bob and Michelle's most recent appearances was on Mother's Day. Jana uploaded a clip from the Duggar compound with some of her siblings. Moments later, the Counting On alum shared a glimpse of her parents looking healthy and happy. Michelle often appears in some of her children's vlogs, especially Joyanna, but many were surprised to see Jim Bob, who hadn't appeared for a while. It was also reported that he's still taking steps to overturn Josh's case. The Duggar family preparing for a TLC comeback? Some Counting On fans have been speculating that the Duggar family is up to something following their recent online activities. Jessa Duggar suddenly made a barrage of posts about her kids on Instagram and Facebook. Many were also surprised by her sudden vlogs, after staying inactive for months. Jana's return after a 2-year break also shocked the world. Some assume that Jim Bob may be covering up the latest Ashley Madison documentary in which Josh was briefly mentioned. But others think that they're preparing for a TLC comeback. The network has yet to share the possibility of the Duggar family's return. However, TLC has already brought them back with a different title, and some fans think they could do it again and document possible courtships. Counting On. Jana Duggar's online return. Fans have been sending positive messages to Jana in her recent posts. One of them was her Mother's Day tribute for Michelle. The Counting On alum also shared a clip of beautiful flowers at the Duggar compound. Some people also believe that the clip shows the shed where she currently lives. It was reported that Jana Duggar decided to step out of the Duggar compound to get her own private space. If you are looking for more Duggar family news, come back to TV shows Ace for all your updates. Certainly. Here's a creative narrative inspired by the title Counting On. The Duggar family preparing for a TLC comeback. This story envisions the Duggar family's potential return to TLC, focusing on their preparations, their personal growth, and the dynamics within the family. Counting On. The Duggar family preparing for a TLC comeback. Chapter 1. The Unexpected Proposal. It had been 5 years since the Duggar family's show Counting On was officially canceled. For many, the end of the family's time on TLC was a bittersweet moment. Fans had followed the Duggar children's growth, weddings, and milestones, and now the world was left to wonder what had become of the large family. The Duggars, once the epitome of family values, found themselves shifting away from the public spotlight for personal reasons. Yet behind closed doors, the wheels of change were slowly turning. One afternoon, as the family gathered in the spacious living room of their home in Arkansas, an unexpected call came in. It was from a familiar voice, a producer at TLC, the very network that had catapulted the Duggar family to fame. "Hi Jim Bob, it's Sarah from TLC." The voice on the other end said, "We've been thinking a lot about the Duggar family, and we'd love to discuss the possibility of bringing Counting On back for a new season. Would you be open to chatting?" The room fell silent. Jim Bob Duggar, the patriarch of the family, exchanged glances with his wife, Michelle, who had been cautiously observing her children. The idea of returning to television had been discussed before, but it had always felt like a distant possibility. Until now. "We're definitely open to hearing what you have in mind," Jim Bob replied, his voice measured but filled with curiosity. As the conversation unfolded, it became clear that TLC wasn't just interested in bringing back a show about the family. They wanted something deeper. An exploration of how the Duggars had evolved, not only as a family but as individuals, after all the challenges and changes they had faced in the years since their show had ended. They'd wanted to showcase the growth, the heartache, and the triumphs. This wasn't going to be just another reality show about a large family. It was going to be a story of resilience, change, and new beginnings. Jim Bob hung up the phone and turned to Michelle, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "This could be it," he said, a spark of hope in his voice. "We could bring the show back, but this time, it will be different." Michelle nodded slowly. "The world has changed, and so have we. It's important to think about how we share our story now. We've been through so much, Jim Bob. If we're going to do this, it has to be real. It has to be honest." Chapter 2. The Next Generation's Voice. As the Duggar children gathered around for a family meeting, the air was thick with anticipation. The proposal from TLC had left everyone with a lot to consider. It wasn't just about their parents returning to the spotlight. It was about them too. The children, who had grown up under the watchful eye of the cameras, were now adults with families of their own. They had matured, encountered challenges, and built their lives in ways that weren't always visible to the public. Jinger, one of the most outspoken and independent of the Duggar children, was the first to speak up. "This is a huge decision, Mom and Dad. It's not like before. We're not the same people we were when we first started filming." Her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, sat next to her, supporting her words. "We've had our own experiences and learned a lot along the way. If we're going to do this, it needs to be genuine. It's about more than just the cameras. It's about sharing our real lives." Jim Bob glanced around the room, his eyes settling on each of his children. His eldest son Josh, who had been through his own struggles and controversies, looked pensive. There was a noticeable shift in his demeanor. After years of working on himself and his family, he was now focused on being a better man and father. The thought of returning to television, where his past had been so heavily scrutinized, was daunting. "I understand why they want to bring us back," Josh said slowly. "But we need to make sure we're doing this for the right reasons. For the family, for our faith, and for our future. We can't be on TV just for the sake of fame." Michelle placed a gentle hand on Josh's shoulder. "We've all come a long way, and this could be an opportunity to show that we're not defined by our past. But it will only work if we're all on board." The younger Duggars, including Jessa, Joyanna, and Jill, also voiced their opinions. Some were more hesitant, unsure about how much of their lives they were willing to share again. Others were excited about the possibility of connecting with their fans and showing the world the positive changes they had experienced. "We've been through so much," Jessa said, her voice calm, but filled with emotion. "I think it could be a good chance to show our growth and the way we've learned from everything. We've made mistakes, but we've also learned how to continued late into the evening, as each family member shared their thoughts and concerns. It was clear that this would be a collaborative effort, with everyone having a say in how their story would unfold. The decision to return to television wasn't an easy one, but it was one that would shape the next chapter of their lives. Chapter 3. Reconnecting with Fans. As the weeks went by, the Duggar family began preparing for the return of Counting On. It wasn't just about filming new episodes. It was about reconnecting with the fans who had followed their journey for over a decade. The Duggars had built a strong, dedicated fan base, and they knew that their supporters had been waiting for updates on their lives. Social media played a significant role in the process. Jinger, in particular, had become active on Instagram, sharing glimpses of her life with her followers. She posted pictures of her family, including her husband Jeremy and their 2 daughters, along with moments of reflection and growth. Many fans had expressed their excitement about the possibility of the family returning to television, but Jinger was careful in how she shared her thoughts. "I'm excited for what's ahead," Jinger wrote in one post, "but we're taking it one step at a time. We're focused on our family, our faith, and the journey we're on together." The Duggars knew that their fans had witnessed their most intimate moments, both the joyful and the painful. And now, with the possibility of returning to the limelight, they had to ensure they were ready for the scrutiny that came with it. They were no longer the young, sheltered family that had first appeared on TV. They had grown, evolved, and faced challenges that had tested their faith and strength. "We want to be transparent with our fans," Jim Bob said during a family meeting. "But we also need to respect our privacy. This show has always been about family values, but it's also about real life. We're not perfect, and we want to share our authentic selves." Michelle agreed. "We've been through a lot, and we've come out stronger. If we're going to do this, it has to be on our terms. We want to encourage others, but we also want to protect our family. Chapter 4. The first day of filming. The day arrived when the Duggar family would officially begin filming for the new season of Counting On. The crew, many of whom had worked with the family in the past, arrived at the Duggar home in anticipation. The family, although nervous, was ready to take on this new chapter with open hearts. The first scene was simple. The Duggar family gathered around the dinner table, just as they had so many times before. But this time, the conversation was different. It was filled with reflections on the past, gratitude for the present, and hopes for the future. The cameras rolled, but there was an authenticity in the air that hadn't been present during their earlier seasons. Jill and her husband, Derek, were particularly candid, sharing how they had navigated their own journey away from the show and the healing they had experienced as a couple. The older Duggars were now parents themselves, with young children who had their own personalities, adding a new dynamic to the family's life. The filming process wasn't easy. There were moments of tension, disagreements over how much they were willing to share, and concerns about the impact of the cameras on their personal lives. But there were also moments of laughter, joy, and deep connection as they shared their faith and family values with the world once more. Chapter 5. A new era for the Duggars. As the new season of Counting On began to take shape, the Duggar family faced a decision: how to balance their desire for privacy with the responsibility they felt to their fans. The show, now in its second iteration, was more than just a reality series. It had become a platform for the family to share their stories, their struggles, and their triumphs. The Duggars were no longer the same people they had been when the cameras first rolled. They had grown up, faced hardships, and come out stronger. Their return to TLC wasn't just about fame. It was about sharing their journey and encouraging others along the way. The world had changed, and so had the Duggars. This new chapter was a testament to their resilience, their faith, and their unwavering commitment to one another. As the cameras rolled, Jim, Bob, and Michelle exchanged a look. They had taken a risk, stepping back into the spotlight, but it felt right. For the Duggar family, this was not just a comeback, it was a new beginning. This narrative provides an imaginative take on the Duggar family's return to TLC and how they would approach a potential comeback, focusing on their growth, the evolution of their family dynamics, and their careful decision-making process. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our Reality TV 24 channel and stay with us.